Good morning and welcome back. Today we're going to continue our work with representing relations. So, learning relations. Let's autofocus real quick. You, we are on. Let's see. We are now on the coordinate system. So, when graphing on the coordinate system, the scale of a graph refers to the distance or interval between tick marks on the x and y axis. So, the scale refers to intervals between the tick marks on the x and y axis. All right. Now, real good tip, remember the x and y may have different scales. For example, if one tick mark represents 5 units, then the scale of the graph is 5. Each axis may have a different scale. All right, we're going to point that out again. This is really important because there's a lot of people that will mess up graphing if they don't read the scale. A scale of 1 tick mark equals 1 unit is frequently used in mathematics. However, using a different scale may make it easier to graph a given set of ordered pairs. Now, ultimately, the scale of your graph is only going to affect its visual representation. So, a way to think about it, you can have a slope of 1, which gives you a 45-degree angle. If you tweak the scaling, that graph can look like this, or it can look like this. And since you read graphs visually first, it's a way to try to manipulate people that aren't paying attention. So scaling is important. It's one of the first tricks they'll try to pull on you. All right, use appropriate scales. Graph the following points: 580, negative 3648, 25, negative 91, 38, 95, negative 10, negative 50, and 122. Step 1, the x coordinates are between. All right, so we have our x's here. Let's take a quick look. We want our lowest and our highest for x. It looks like our minimum x value is negative 36, and our maximum is 38. So these are between negative 36 and 38. All right. Our y coordinate, okay. Our y values, let's see. Looks like our lowest is negative 91 and our highest is 95. All right, the x-axis should include values from blank to about blank. All right, so we're making a graph. Typically on a graph, getting things in powers of tens are nice. So since we're dealing with 2-digit numbers, let's try to round them to their nearest 10. But we want to make it even so our graph is good on each side. So let's take a look. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slots. Oh, well, if we round to 40, so we have 8 marks here. All right, 8 on the x. And if we round this up to 40, so we're just looking at one side, we get 5. So that means if we use 40, we'll be able to include all of our data. Sorry. And each tick mark will be 5 units. All right. So 10, 20, 30, 40, negative 10, negative 20, negative 30, negative 40. All right. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, so we've got 10 going up and down. Well, that makes this easy. We've got 10 spaces up and down, and we're at negative 90 and 95. So if we round this to 100, this could be rounded to 100. So if we use 100, I've got 10 spaces. That gives me 10 units per space. So we can go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, negative 20, negative 40, negative 60, negative 80, negative 100. All right, now we're going to plot our points. So we've got 580, negative 36, that's about here, 48, 25, negative 91, 38.95, negative 10, negative 50, and 122. All right, next up, and think about it. It says, Gwen used a scale of 4 on the x-axis. Is her scale appropriate? Explain. Well, we have 8 spots, and she used a scale of 4. So that means at the very end, 4 times 8 is 32. And that's not going to be big enough for our data point, so she messed up. It's too small. All right, when graphing the following points, select the most appropriate scale. All right, so let's find some mins and max again. I have positive 16 and negative 10. Honestly, since we're dealing with just some 2-digit numbers, I would use negative 20 to positive 20. Y's, let's see, I got 32, 10, negative 27. So definitely need a negative 30. Let's see our data points. Yeah, I'd use A2. Choose an appropriate origin. All right. So right now, if we were to graph this, our origin would be 2005, and that's not going to work. We would like it to start at 0. So to get this to start at 0, we need to change this from saying year to our new value will be years since 2005. What this does is at 2005, we've now essentially made a math equation that finds all of these as a difference. 2005 and 2005 cancel to 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now we have it 0 through 10, so plotting will be a lot easier, and we don't have to use a disjointed graph. So the x-axis is going to represent years since, 2005. And our y-axis is going to represent total snowfall. All right, then it says the origin 00 represents, well, it'll be the year 2005, because that's what our 0 point represents. And since y is ranking snowfall, a 0 in the y value means 0 snowfall. The total snowfall is between, so let's take a look. Our lowest value is 1. Our highest value is 43. This one I might do 5 here. So essentially this is from 0 to 45. And because it's 0 to 45, we can break that by 5s. So I would say this should have a scale of 5 inches. And again, a lot of scaling is you want to think about how to do it on the graph. Next, it wants us to graph our snowfall. All right, so we're going to set it up. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we said we were going to do by 5s for part C. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Then plotting. We have, and 0 is 43.3, about there. 1 is 8.1. 2 is at 1. 3 is at 8.3. 4 is at 23.7. 5 is 13.2. 6, 38.3. 7, 6.8. Oops. 8 is 5. 9, 21.8. And 10, 34.3. Describe another situation where it might be necessary to choose a different meaning for the axis and origin. A supermarket's a great one. If you buy 0 groceries, it costs $0. All right, example 5. Interpret scales and origin. Social media. The average number of posts per day on a social media site each year is given in the table. Interpret the meaning of the axis, scale, and origin of the corresponding graph. Now, do notice that these points, this just a quick aside, this looks very exponential. And reasoning why this would increase exponentially, we have proliferation of technology. So as more people get access to technology, more people get on social media, and also human growth by population is exponential. So we have more people every generation getting onto social media. All right, X represents, we go to the X-axis, years since 2008. because it's not appropriate to start at the year 0. Right, our graph would be insanely large. And the y-axis, you could always do a disjointed graph, but people don't like that too much, is going to be average posts per day. And that's in the millions. The x-axis, 1 mark goes 1 unit. So think about it, we go 1 space and 0 becomes 1, so that is 1. We go 1 space on the y, but we go from 0 to 50. So if 1 space goes 50, 1 mark is 50 million. 00 represents the year 2008, and 0 posts per day. Use a source. This is just telling you to go out, and anytime that you find a graph, take a look at its scaling and try to understand the data it's trying to give to you. Graph manipulation is one of the key ways people try to distort facts. So look at the scale, see if they're trying to hide something. All right, on the back. United States Mint is responsible for producing and distributing circulating coins that are used by people every day to buy and sell goods. Facilities in Denver and Philadelphia produce billions of coins each year. The table and graph show how many circulating coins were produced each year at the facilities from 2001 to 2011. All right, they give us our graph. Now, they don't give us labels, but let's take a look. So we have years starting at 2001, but if we look at our x-axis, and we're going to keep going with typically, the first column will be our independent. So if that's the case, our years go from 2001 to 2011. We have 10 spaces over here, so this must be years since. On the y-axis, says circulating coins produced. All right. So now we see that this graph represents the year since 2001 and how many coins were produced. Got it. Interpret the meaning of the x and y axis. The x-axis represents, as we said, years since 2001, and as a scale of 1 mark equals 1 year. The y-axis is circulating coins produced. Where here we move 1 mark and we move 2 spaces. So 1 mark is 2, and each one of these is in the billion, so we say it's 2 billion. Interpret the meaning. 0, 0 of the origin, so 0 represents the year 2001, and 0 in the Y means 0 coins produced. And that's it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.